lesson is all about properties of matter. So, let us review your lesson. Ta-da! Look at the photo or the image. Can you see the apple? What distinguishes you to see the apple? Okay, it is the color and the shape which distinguished you to find the apple. So, from the color and its shape, it is the characteristic of an object. So, it's called the property. And also, I will show to you a plastic bottle there. A plastic bottle and a glass bottle. So, these two are objects, right? These are objects. And the material used is different. This bottle is a plastic and this bottle is a glass. So they have different material made, but they are both same as object. So properties of matter can be physical properties and chemical properties. So we know that physical properties are characteristic of matter that can be observed or measured without having to change the composition or chemical identity or of a substance. So, dili siya mausog. For instance, a common physical property of matter is mass. So, even if the mass become lesser or become heavier, physical property or it having without having change of the composition, just like when you are eating apple. Try to eat apple, and after you eat an apple, what do you see? So it is always an apple. It does not become orange. It is apple. So, physical properties also divided into extensive and intensive properties. So, when we say extensive properties, are characteristic of matter that depend on the amount of matter in a substance. So, example for this is the mass. These are the mass, weight, volume of an object. While intensive properties are characteristics of matter that do not depend on the amount of matter in a substance. Do not matter. So the example is color, shape, density, malleability, ductility, conductivity. And that was our lesson in week 3. You are done with this. So I guess that you know already what are those I am mentioning. So in this video, you will learn about insulation and conductivity. Which materials conduct and which materials insulates. Watch this video.
What do you understand by the word conduct? Well, in physics, it means transfer of something. And the materials that transfer something through themselves from one place to another are called conductors. That something could be anything. It could be heat, it could be electricity, or many other things. However, here we are interested in electricity. In this context, we will use the word electrical conductors. So now can we define it? You're right. Electrical conductors are the materials that transfer electricity through them. Or even more precisely, they are the materials that allow the electric current to flow through them. For simplicity, we will call them conductors. What are the examples of conductors? We have seen this simple circuit in the previous video. Here, a 1.5 volt cell is connected with a bulb which can be between 3 to 4 volts with the help of copper wires. So here I told you that the movement of electrons is from the negative terminal of the cell to the positive terminal. But however, by convention, the direction of electric current is taken to be from the positive to the negative one. But how exactly is the current flowing in the circuit? Or through which material is this current flowing? Yes, it's the copper wires. Electric current is flowing through the copper wires from the positive to the negative terminal. So what can we conclude from this? We say that the copper is a conductor of electricity since it allows the electricity to flow through it. Now, instead of copper wires, what if we use pieces of threads in the circuit? Will the bulb glow in that case? No, it won't. Why? Because the electric current cannot flow through a piece of thread. Such materials are called insulators. So how do we define this term? Give it a try. These are the materials which do not allow the electric current to flow through them. Let's study a bit about conductors first. Besides copper, what are the other materials that conduct electricity? Almost all metals conduct electricity. Silver, gold, aluminium, iron and mercury are a few other examples of metals that conduct electric current. If you replace copper wires in our circuit with aluminium ones, then you will find that the bulb is still glowing. This proves that aluminium allows electric current to flow through it. In fact, this area of the bulb is itself made up of metal. Hence, if we connect the wire anywhere in this region, the bulb will still glow. It transfers the electricity to the terminal of the bulb and inside. We can actually test any object for conductivity. Break the circuit up from anywhere by cutting the copper wire. Now at this point, I want you to notice one thing. Look at this region. There is nothing present in this region that can transfer the electrical energy from one side to the other. But there is air in this region. So what can you infer from this? This tells us that air is an insulator. It does not conduct electricity. Bring any object that you want to test, say this iron nail. Tie up both the ends of the wires at the two ends of iron and see if the bulb is glowing or not. If it glows, then it proves that the material that our object is made up of conducts electricity. Here the electric current is flowing through the iron nail. So our circuit is complete and the bulb glows. So this proves that iron is a conductor of electricity. Did you know that the human body is also a conductor of electricity? In fact, it's a very good conductor. This is the reason why we get an electric shock if we are not careful. The electric current flows through a body towards the earth. Now, which are the materials that do not conduct electricity? Materials such as plastic, rubber, cotton and wood do not conduct electricity. So they are insulators. For instance, instead of an iron nail, if we connect a plastic straw between the circuit, then the bulb will not glow.